Welcome on in, folks, as we get started with our playoff party. We are live here at the City Place in West Palm Beach, having a great time. ESPN Radio here for the ESPN Radio College Football Campus Tour, which is going to be going around the country and to the National Championship. We got you for the next 2 hours today as we got a packed program ahead. We're waiting for Theo. Dorsey will be here in a couple minutes, and we got a lot to talk about because we got divisional playoffs coming in. We got a little Miami-Indiana stuff to get into with that game on Monday evening, and we also have a lot of off-season coaching carousel rumors and who's going where and a bunch of different things to set in stone. My name is Colin Russo. I got you up until 7 p.m. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day today as we got a phone program in store. First things first, we also have the Broncos and the Bronco game with the Bills going on right now, actually, at Mile High. And 2 drives took up the entire first quarter. So sign me up for whatever that is, because 7-3 score, Buffalo up over Denver at the end of the first quarter. Buffalo went 70 yards to score on their first drive of the game. So there's your update in the AFC Divisional Playoffs. That's going on right now on CBS. And we also have a night game tonight with the 49ers and the Seahawks in Seattle. Seattle coming off of a bye. And it turns out Sam Darnold is very questionable going into this game due to an oblique injury, which is very bizarre that a guy coming off of a bye on a Thursday gets a non-contact oblique injury to the point in which he cannot travel, and or he can travel, but he cannot throw. He has not thrown. Here's the weirdest part. He hasn't thrown since their last practice on Thursday. So nobody knows what's going on with Sam Darnold, and nobody knows whether he's going to be available tonight. I assume because the lines on Hard Rock Bet and most of the other sports books have not shifted that Sam Darnold will be playing tonight. And we also have the National Championship coming up on Monday evening between Miami and Indiana. Miami coming in as a 2-loss championship contender, which is a rarity, and the second time we have seen that since Ohio State, because Ohio State lost 2 games last year to Oregon and Michigan, and then they eventually went on to win the national championship. Miami's going to have a similar opportunity. We don't have a lot of 2-loss national championship contenders, and that will be a fun thing to see unfold as they go on against a bit of a juggernaut, because Indiana coming in undefeated. They have dominated just about everybody they have played in the playoff this point. Their last competitive game was the Big Ten championship game against Ohio State, which was a back-and-forth defensive affair. And they're looking to see whether Miami and whether Indiana, who really is the juggernaut in this fight, because I wonder that the Miami defense can keep up with Indiana's offense. And we know how good Miami's defense has played to this point. We know how good they are and how good they have been throughout the season. But I think the real question is what's Miami's game plan going to be? Is their game plan going to be, we don't want Fernando Mendoza, the Heisman Trophy winner, to have the ball at any point, any given time? And we're going to do the best we can to keep him as far away from the ball as possible? Or is the game going to be, hey, we're not afraid of our offense. We're not afraid of what Carson Beck can do. We're actually going to let him sling it loose a little bit in the last game of his college career, and we're going to see if we can come after this team a little bit. If it's going to be one or the other, I would lean to the side that Miami's going to try to muddy this up. They're going to try to keep this in the teens. They don't want this to get into the 20s and 30s because in my opinion, frankly, what I've seen from the Miami offense has not been the highlight of the overall team. They've had 3 to 4, really 5 great drives throughout the postseason. They were much better offensively, especially that final drive of the game against Ole Miss. What the weird part is that feels like a lifetime ago. And but in the Texas A&M game, it was really one drive that controlled the game and won the game. On Ohio State, it was really that 2 drives, the opening scoring drive and the drive up 3, going down and scoring, making it a 2-possession game in the fourth quarter. Those were the 2 drives in that game where Miami's offense showed you anything. And then you go into the Ole Miss game where Ole Miss, to their credit, did a very good job at holding them to field goals. They did a very good job at keeping everybody at bay. And Miami did a great job that final drive of the game to have Carson Beck take him right down the field and basically win the game for him with about a minute to go. So you trust Miami's ability. Maybe they've had a little surge of confidence in the interim now that they've seen that from Beck and they've let him loose in the fourth quarter and he has gone and won a game for them. But Indiana's a different beast. Indiana's not Ole Miss. Indiana's not going to be down 7 coaches on their coaching staff like Ole Miss was. They're not going to be down their head coach like Ole Miss was. Indiana has been the team that has not been out-coached at any point this season. And really, in a lot of ways, they haven't been out-physical and they haven't been out-experienced. The average age of Indiana is 23 years old. 23 years old is the average age of what the Indiana Hoosiers are in terms of the players on the field. That, to me, is their greatest strength. They are, yes, balanced. Yes, they have a Heisman Trophy #1 overall pick, likely quarterback. But their biggest asset is their experience. They have multiple receivers that have played for multiple teams from 4 to 5 years at college football. Elijah Surratt has been there forever. Omar Cooper Jr. has been an Indiana mainstay. So right then and there, those are guys with a ton of experience. Then you go to Hardy and Kalen Black, their 2 running backs. Black was on JMU with Kurt Signetti, so he's in his 5th year. So right then and there, you get 2 major contributors on offense who are consistently, operationally experienced players. And that, to me, is going to be Indiana's greatest strength because you're not going to have guys that get frazzled. You're telling me that the guys who are average age 23 are going to get frazzled in the early part of that game? They're not going to be frazzled by the moment. They're not going to be scared of the moment. And they're going to come after them with everything they got early and often. Because one thing we know about Kurt Signetti and his tenure at Indiana is that he's not going to roll over. He's not going to let up. He's going to continue to score until the clocks hit 0 in the 4th quarter. His job is to score every time they get the ball. And they showed that against Oregon. I know the Oregon game sort of started rearing on its head because of that early pick 6. But every time Indiana got the ball, they went right down the field. They went right down the field. And right then, that would scare me. That would keep me at bay. And for Miami's sake, I think they are a true, total underdog in this fight. They are a true underdog. You want to say they were an underdog against Ohio State? Fine. You want to say they were a true underdog against Texas A&M even? Fine. But this game specifically, you could make the argument that Indiana was more talented than the 3 teams they have played. I would make the argument right now that they are not more talented than Indiana. And because Indiana has a plethora of talented resources available to them on 1 through 22 of their starting lineup. Miami's got 8, 9 stars, and then you have laboring pieces. Yes, you have Malachi Toney. Yes, you have Mark Fletcher Jr. Yes, you have Carson Beck. Yes, you have experience and a mixture of young talent. But what they don't have is every single player on the roster, the most experienced player on the field. That, to me, would be Miami's weakness in this game. They're just not as experienced. And it's weird because I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I don't know how much I trust Carson Beck in a big spot. That Ole Miss game, he really shut me up because he went right down the field, a methodical, cut the lead down drive. So right then and there, I would say maybe I got to tone that back and say that Carson Beck is capable of winning them a national championship. But they are an underdog in every sense of the word because they have to deal with the ultimate juggernaut. And the way the college football playoffs work since the expansion or even the 4-team playoff has been going into it, whether it be 4 teams or 12 teams, there are wolves and there are sheep. James Madison was a sheep. In a lot of ways, Ohio State, we thought they were going to be a wolf. And there was just such a disconnect and a disarray between the top-level teams and the bottom-level teams in this college football playoff. So because of that, I would say as you get further into the playoff, you find out, all right, well, we thought this team was a wolf, but actually, as we get to the next round, they're a sheep. That, to me, was Oregon. Oregon looked fantastic against Texas Tech, and they even looked fantastic against James Madison for about 3.5 quarters. And then you get them against Indiana, and you realize that in short terms, there's levels to this, and that they are not on the level of Indiana. So right then and there, Oregon was one that popped to mind. Or Ole Miss is an interesting case study. I don't know what I'd say to them, but even in the years past, the Clemson teams, whether it's the Trevor Lawrence team or it's the Alabama team with Mac Jones, or it's the Georgia team once they take on TCU, or it's the LSU team of 2019 going against the Clemson team that hasn't lost in 2 years, you go into that game thinking, well, this team's really, really good. They have to be able to compete. We'd think they'd be able to compete. Very rarely do you anticipate a complete blowout, but it happens. So weirdly enough, and I hate to kind of speak poorly on Miami's behalf, there is a substantial chance in this game. I don't know about, 60-40 that Indiana wins this game by 2 scores. That's what I would say. If you sat there and you watched that Indiana-Oregon game and your takeaway was Miami can compete with this team, I don't know what game you were watching. Let's call it like we see. I don't know what game you were watching. Miami squeaked by an Ole Miss team that played very well in the game, played competitively, played tough in the game. But they've played close in every bout so far, and Indiana hasn't. How couldn't I view Miami as a true total underdog in this fight? How? So from the national championship perspective, we got a lot more to do with that front. But I would just say they're a true underdog, so they better act like it. And what I mean by acting like it is you better hope that this is going to be a go for it, because 4th and short, 4th and opportunity, goal line, if there are opportunities to put 7 on the board instead of 3, my opinion, you got to go for 7. And the weird part is I think Miami is going to have to play aggressive early on in this game, and they hadn't to this point. To this point this season, to this point, at least in their win streak post-SMU and Louisville losses, they have played the games in spite of Carson Beck. They have played the game through their defense and through their rushing attack. And they have forced Carson Beck sort of to be a backseat quarterback. And then once they need him end of game, we need a drive here, that's when they sort of rely on Carson Beck. They haven't done that throughout the game where they have relied on him. They haven't. They haven't had one game so far where they have completely and utterly relied on Carson Beck to win the football game. So that's just their game plan. That's just how they play. That's their new identity. But going for that, I think would be my overall impression was Miami's going to have to change that a little bit if they want to win this. Because I think playing their traditional way is not going to work. I don't think slowing the game down and letting your defense force the offense to make the mistakes and then capitalize on turnovers, I don't think that's the right strategy. I really don't. I think that I do not like that strategy whatsoever. I think this is going to be, if you want to win, you got to score. If you want to win, you have to score. And if I'm going to apply a little bit of a counter argument, Indiana played close against Ohio State, but that was the game that sort of gave them the confidence that allows them to really light things up. I think the best way to win this game is to score with them. And I don't think Miami's thinking like that. If you asked me today and I had to put money somewhere, I would say there is no chance that Miami has a chance in this game. No way. I think this is going to be Indiana's game to take. I think this is going to be Indiana's game to control. And I think this is going to be Indiana's game to win a national title to win. And you want to talk about a better story on whether Miami returning to the promised land after having 5 national titles between 1983 and 2001. And then Indiana, who has never won a national title and was really the worst college football Power 4 program in the country before Curt Cignetti got there. Indiana would be the better story, and I think it's the perfect bow on the season to have Indiana hoist the trophy at the end of it. And I know Theo Dorsey is a Miami fan, and he's going to be here momentarily. And when we talk to him, Theo's probably going to tell me I'm crazy. He's going to tell me in some lackluster format that Miami has a chance in this game, and he's going to tell me that Malachi Toney is going to have 300 yards. So I'm waiting for that, but I am firmly under the impression that Miami does not have much of a chance in this. I think this is going to be Indiana's game to dominate. I do. 888-760-3776, number to get into the program. But good luck with that. As Colin Russo is here from the Airstream at City Place, West Palm Beach. Come on down because you can see the Serve Pro Rapid Response game. You got a Monster Energy has a big activation here. You got all of ESPN all in one spot, and it's an ESPN setup. So come say hello to us. Come say hello to the fellow West Palm Beach natives. Come have some fun with us down at City Place in West Palm Beach. We'll be here until 7 p.m. We know we got some playoff football to talk about. We know we got some coaching carousel moves to discuss. And we know we got a lot of fun to be had as Theo Dorsey is joining me right now alongside me at the Airstream. The Airstream, if you don't know what it is, it's like a big trailer. It's like a kind of a rocket ship that ESPN Radio has that they bring with the college football campus tour. As we loop in Mr. Theo Dorsey of Theoretically Speaking, which you can hear on ESPN West Palm from 2 to 4 weekdays. Hi, Theo. What's going on? How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm pushed up, man. I'm feeling good. I'm fresh off of I was at the 2026 Pepsi National Battle of the Bands over at FAU's Flagler Credit Union Stadium. So we had some great bands out there. The Human Jukebox of Southern University. We had the Marching 100 of FAMU. They even had Florida Memorial. We had a team out of South Carolina as well. It's going down
How
at
many
FAU.
teams?
6 bands.
6 bands.
6 bands. It's about to go down, and I missed most of the show because, I had to get here and talk some sports with you, man. I heard you was anti-Canes, so I had to make sure the record was set straight.
Well, here's the thing. The
forward.
funny part is, right when you were walking up, I said, Theo Dorsey's going to come here and he's going to tell me in some lackluster format that Miami's got a chance in this game, and I'm not understanding the vision. You're telling me
What do you mean?
that you watched Indiana, Oregon, and you're thinking, boy, oh boy, I can't wait till the Hurricanes get their hands on these guys?
Hell yeah. So here's what you got to remember, too, about Indiana's win over Oregon. How much of that was the dominance of the Hoosiers, who I respect? And
you better respect them. They're in the national championship game.
They're the favorites in the national championship game, yes. But I recall a couple of weeks ago when the Canes were also 8.5-point dogs to a team out of the Big Ten. And I recall that going a whole lot differently than a lot of y'all expected.
Fair enough.
Oregon puked all over themselves in the first half of that game, and Indiana steamrolled them because of it. When teams have played them properly, it came down to 3 points against Ohio State and even against Penn State, who wasn't even a good football program this year. Miami's better than both of those teams, and I do expect the Hurricanes to win.
So what's your game plan if you're coming in? Let's say you're Mario Cristobal. Broad scope, how are we going to walk towards this game, and how are we going to play that first half? What do you think the keys are?
It's actually simple. I think whichever team can get out to a lead first, which is obviously,
It's
right?
going to be get a lead, protect it.
Get a lead and protect it. If the Canes go down by 10 points or so, I would feel a lot more. It's going to be a treacherous environment because you don't want the ball game to be in the hands of Carson Beck.
That was my takeaway. It's like Miami has played every single game this postseason outside of really the second half against Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Where they're playing in spite of Carson Beck, and he is a complement to the other kind of headstrong part of the team.
And I would say it hasn't even necessarily been in spite of him, but he hasn't had inspiring play. Like I think he's 1 for 11.
They're a little scared of him.
He's 1 for 11 on deep passes this postseason.
Yeah.
1 for 11.
And 11 is not that many opportunities, too. Keep that in mind. They played 3 games.
So
that's 12 quarters. That's a deep ball a quarter, essentially. That's not a lot.
You can tell that Shannon Dawson is not exactly drawing up this offense to be pushing the ball down the field, but it's also because they don't have to. And the 2 games in which Carson Beck was the fatal flaw for the Miami Hurricanes, since that, he's only thrown 2 interceptions, one of them in the regular season, and the other one was the tip pass at the line of scrimmage against Ole Miss. It's really simple for Miami. You have to create a turnover or 2 on defense, so the defensive backfield can't be dropping balls like they were against Ole Miss, and you can't turn the ball over on offense. And I know that, again, football, it is simple. We try to make it as complex and compound. We have these conversations, but sometimes it does boil down to who can take care of the football and also who can move the ball on third downs. And Miami could do those two things very, very well. It's just Indiana can as well. It's going to be a good game.
The thing about Indiana is even when, pick 6, bad drives by Oregon, Oregon came back and they scored 7-7. Every time Indiana got the ball with a drive to be had, they took them right down the field. And that's a good defense.
Yeah.
So you got it. The one thing I'm nervous about is, yes, you mentioned the Ohio State game. That was the game. They celebrated like that was the biggest weight lifted off their shoulders possible because that was the pressure around that game. It was sort of the passing of the torch, so to speak. And since then, I think they have exploded in confidence, and therefore this is sort of like a flaming dragon right now.
Yeah.
And finding some sort of like fire blanket for this is going to be very difficult.
So I agree that they have all the confidence in the world, but I also believe that Miami should have beat Ole Miss by double digits. And I think that it wouldn't be an 8.5-point spread had Miami converted on some of those opportunities they had. Had Ole Miss not made 2 50-plus yard field goals, including one of them that went off the uprights, right? Like, that shouldn't have been as close as it was, so that also gives a weird depiction of Miami. Let's not forget what they just did, right? They beat Ohio State by double digits on a neutral site. Miami also went into College Station in a windy environment, in a treacherous environment, and beat Texas A&M at their crib 10-3.
And give them credit. They were down against Ole Miss, multiple scoring differences in the fourth quarter, the lead changes.
Yeah.
And Carson Beck took them right down the field in probably the most surgical drive of his entire career. And it was in an Ole Miss crowd, too. You were there. So you saw it. That was an Ole Miss crowd.
That was Ole Miss home.
That was an Ole Miss home game.
At State Farm Arena. But here's the thing. I objectively, of course, I want the Canes to win, and I've been feeling the vibes of them, and I'm rooting for them, so I'm going to be biased. But even objectively speaking, I don't think anybody with a proper football mind should think that this should be a walk-away win by Indiana. Yes, they are more mature. Yes, they make less mistakes than Miami, but they don't have anybody on their sideline that has the excitement, the speed, the burst of a Malachi Tony. They don't have a defensive end like Ruben Bain and also to pair that up with Akeem Mesidor. Like, Miami has the best offensive line in the nation as well, so they're going to be able to lean on them throughout the game and wear them down. Like, there's a lot of advantages on both sides of the ball. The biggest difference, though, is, and this is where I'll give credence to people like you and others who think Indiana will win, the biggest difference is the guy who touches the ball every play. And I do have a lot more faith in Fernando Mendoza than
I also think
Carson
Indiana's got a lot more experience. You know, their average age is 23 years old.
That's ridiculous.
Packers is 25.
It's like that Auburn basketball team.
Right, so good point. Those guys were all 24-year-olds last year, and they made it to the Final Four. But that's the one thing that I don't love. You're right.
Yeah.
Ruben Bain, Mesidor, Malachi Tony, Mark Fletcher, all-stars, future pros.
Yeah.
Indiana is sort of like the pro team that has the 1 through 22 of just everybody sort of does their job like perfectly.
Yeah.
And they're not going to get out coached.
No.
So you know that for a fact. They're going to be paired properly. It's almost like a 1 through 22 versus like the star power of Miami.
Yeah.
And like the trenches of Miami.
And then you also have to weigh in the fact that Miami's playing in a familiar stadium, right, their home field. It's going to be a decent enough Miami crowd. It should be split about 50-50
Likely.
even. It wouldn't be if it was at a neutral site. I think Indiana would take the cake when it came to crowd size. But then also, even more importantly, the biggest thing for Miami is going to be, and a lot of the experts have talked about this, Indiana's so comfortable when they get into third and manageable, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, 3rd
methodical.
And 2.
They're methodical.
They just march it down the field. Miami has the pass rush that can actually get to Mendoza. Unlike you can't take Chambliss down. He's too elusive back there. He's like Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, hard to get your hands on him. Mendoza can be taken down.
Underrated feet, though. He can move.
He can move. Yeah. He can move. He just doesn't have the lateral quickness as much. He doesn't have the
He'll
quick
go
burst.
down. If they surround him, he's going to go down.
So I think that's going to be key. Early on, like in the first half, we'll be able to tell whether or not Miami has a real shot at taking this game over, and it's going to come down to can you get them in the 3rd and 8 plus.
Because here's the thing that would make you nervous. First drive of the game, Miami wins the toss to first.
Yeah.
And Indiana marches down the field and scores a touchdown. That's when you'd be like, uh-oh. Is this one of those national championship games where it's like Georgia versus TCU?
Oh, my gosh.
Or, LSU or Alabama.
That's the
and those,
thing. The talent
Theo,
discrepancy isn't like that, though. That's what everybody – that's such a misconception.
Just saying.
There's more first-round talent on Miami than there is at Indiana. It's just one guy that's getting drafted in the first round.
And then I think if the game plays out like I think it will, then we come in Tuesday and you're going to proclaim Curt Cignetti is the GOAT of college football coaching. You'd be like, I didn't hear Ruben Bain's name all night. How did that happen? How did Malachi Tony get 0 catches for 0 yards? That's the type of thing that we'd be talking about.
If he schemes it up in that way, I'd be impressed. But another thing that we have to remember is Curt Cignetti, one of the guys that he leaned on a lot at James Madison, is now on the side of Miami, and that's defensive coordinator Corey Heatherman, who calls the defense for Miami that turned a bottom 10 college football defense last year into a top 10 defense. Keontae Scott's been flying to the ball well out of the defensive secondary. We won't have Xavier Lucas, who the targeting call. Yeah. That's one of our better corners for Miami.
He's the second player in 3 years that Miami has plucked after he signed an NIL contract. Probably going to go to court over it with perhaps Darian Mensah.
Oh, sorry. So you're still bothered about that because for those who don't know, Colin Russo is a Wisconsin back.
And Xavier Lucas was committed to Wisconsin, signed, whatever that means, to Wisconsin. And then he flipped to Miami last second. And it was a big court battle that essentially the court said there's nothing we could do. You can't force the guy to play.
He left. They tried to not give him his papers, and then he said, well, I'll just not enroll. And
we'll get into a little of
Smart
Miami
man.
and Darian Mensah. We'll get into the NFL playoffs. We'll get into some predictions. We have Denver just went down the field, and they scored 10-7 is the score in that one, 67-yard drive. So Denver not showing any fear as Buffalo gets the ball back with 9:27 to go in the second of the NFL Divisional Round. That is Theo Dorsey, Colin Russo here from the Airstream at City Place, West Palm Beach. It is a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in West Palm Beach, the 17th of January, 2026. So come on down and say hello to us. We'll take a timeout, be back in a couple of minutes right here on ESPN 106.3. Coming back here live from the playoff party. Colin Russo and Theo Dorsey here. And we got a lot of things to talk about. It's 10-7 currently in Denver versus Buffalo right now. Denver is actually up. Josh Allen driving down the field already. Looks to be an offensively inclined game. That is Theo Dorsey, Colin Russo. We're on ESPN South Florida on YouTube, ESPN West Palm on Twitter/X. All those great spots. We got you for the next up till 7 o'clock. We got Doc Alley, who's a big Canes fan, mental and medical. So he'll support the Canes anyway. With the Miami Hurricanes game this weekend, we'll get into score predictions a little later on in the program. But if we were to walk away from that game with a Miami victory, let's say Tuesday morning we're talking about Miami winning that game against Indiana.
Yeah.
Why would it be? What would be the why?
The why, again, it's going to come down. It's so boring to talk about. It's going to come down to the turnover margin. So I'll give you the more fun option here. It's also going to come down to Malachi Tony being the best player on the football field. I have a lot of faith that obviously when you talk about overall talent, Malachi Tony is the guy to look out for. But more so than that, I know that he's a big game player. I don't want to overstate what he did in high school football because it is a different level of playing, but he's already shown he's a great college football player. He has 99 catches on the season. He's going to surpass 100 catches in his freshman year. He's supposed to be a senior in high school. All of that hoopla is cool, but what I can tell you is he is the best playmaker on both sides of the ball for both teams, and whether it be on special teams or on Miami's offense, Malachi Tony is getting into the end zone multiple times. And if Miami wins, he's going to be the MVP of the national championship game.
Not Carson Beck.
And we're we're going to be talking about Malachi Tony and the Canes as the future of college football over the next couple of years. When the Canes win on Monday night, I believe the conversation shifts instantly into can this become a dynasty because of how great they are at recruiting.
Here's the problem. None of the team this year is going to be there next year.
Yes, they
know
are.
That. We know.
Where are they going? Where are they going?
Where's Bain going? I have one guess. Where's Residor going?
All right,
where's draft. Carson Beck going?
Well, I'm not worried about where Carson Beck's going right now.
State Farm?
We've got a guy coming in that just won the ACC.
Well, let's talk about that because that's something that's been floated around here the last, 24 hours since the transfer portal closed, at least last night. Darian Mensah, who is the quarterback of Duke, ACC champion Duke, and give them a little respect despite having 5 losses. And Darian Mensah, who's likely going to be a first-round pick next year in the NFL draft. I thought he could have came out this year and he would have been a first-round pick.
There's so many guys that are going to be a first-round pick next year.
For those who don't know, here's the story. What Darian Mensah is doing is he's got a 2-year contract that he signed with Duke last year. This is the second of those years. He makes $4 million a year.
Yep.
$4 million a year. And another thing that came up, which I don't fully understand, but I'm going to try to do my best to explain it. He signed away his NIL rights to Duke. What does that mean? It means Duke has the full chances to sell his name and likeness.
Yeah, it's almost
so
like
they could sell his jerseys.
Yeah.
They could sell his name, his face on a shirt. They could, hey, Darian Mensah signing autographs. Here's how you get paid for it.
Yeah.
That is all Duke. And apparently he can't get that back unless Duke
releases him.
Is a good player in this situation, and
Yeah.
they want to release that. But everybody's saying that he's going to Miami.
Yeah.
And everybody's saying he's going to Miami for close to $10 million.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's true. I don't know what his compensation is. But this is a desperation Hail Mary heave by Miami to get there. Cam Ward, Carson Beck, here's your next guy.
So what I'll say about that is 3 things about that. Number one, if Mensah does come to Miami, he won't be as great as Cam Ward, but he would definitively be a better quarterback and playmaker than Carson Beck. And that will take the Canes to another level because he'll be able to play hopefully with Corey Heatherman as defensive coordinator. He'll be able to play with a complete football team. So if Mensah comes to Miami, that's definitively an upgrade over Carson Beck. We just have to see how that plays out. Number 2, Miami has the money and the motion to make it happen. And we saw this first reported on Wednesday that Miami might wave enough money in front of a quarterback's face to make them considering transferring even though they were committed to a program. So it's not a shock that it's happening with Mensah, allegedly. But Miami, the one difference between them and other programs that are in the 12-team playoff this year, and it hasn't been reported enough on, and it matters a lot, Miami's making a lot of money off of this national championship run.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I'm sure that's part of the money that they're shipping over to Duke.
So most teams that belong to conferences have to split the money amongst their conferences as they progress through and get the playoff bonuses. The ACC due to what Florida State, the deal that Florida State struck a couple of years ago with a lawsuit, the ACC no longer forces programs to do revenue sharing with their playoff bonuses. So Indiana, I think when it's all said and done, is making about $3.5 million for making it all the way to the national championship game. Ole Miss made about $2.5 for making it all the way to the Final Eight. Miami's making $20 million, and they're pocketing all of it and not having to revenue share any of that with the rest of the ACC. That on top of all the notoriety they get with winning this at this level, and on top of all of the guys that they're getting to flip to Miami because of the success. So they got the money, they got the motion, they have the atmosphere around Miami.
They need the player.
They just need and so. Of course, a guy like Mensah's going to choose Miami.
Mensah's
of course,
good
guys are going to try to transfer over.
And Mensah's a 20-year-old player right now. He could have came out. He's young. He played at Tulane under John Summerall. Keep that in mind. And then he went to Duke. Had a great year at Duke. He was second in the nation in passing touchdowns, just behind Mendoza.
Yeah.
And he had a good year, and he's young. So right then and there, I mean, they're getting a finished product in a lot of ways. This guy could have went to the draft this year, and he would have been drafted high.
It's Ward 2.0, like you said. A guy that's going to be in his third school, a guy that has worked his way up from G5.
And he's good enough to be a pro.
Power, and he's good enough to be a pro. Cam Ward, people forget, could have went to the draft before he came to Miami, but he was projected as like a 5th, 6th round pick, so he came back to improve that stock. We could be talking about Mensah the same way. He could have went to the draft. You said he was projected around a first rounder this year.
Wait, as it stands today, I think he'd be a first rounder.
Dante Moore not being there.
I mean, he is better than Simpson.
Yeah.
He would be a highly drafted quarterback this year.
So think about that. I mean, we're talking about potentially then him, Arch Manning, Lenoris Sellers.
Yep. So if he has a good year. Remember, he had a bad year last year. Levitt's one that comes to mind. Sayan still has to come out.
Who's the guy that went to
Sorsby. Brendan Sorsby.
That's like 8 quarterbacks.
Right then, and there's more than that. There's more guys that we're not even thinking of. Josh Hoover at Indiana, who I think is going to be a first-round pick as well. I think he could have been a first-round pick this year.
You can't have – all right, how many quarterbacks would you
I mean,
Chiefs
Theo,
draft a quarterback
here's the problem. It's Ty Simpson and Mendoza, and that is it. That is it. We got Sawyer Robertson from
I'm talking
Baylor.
about next year, though.
I know, but
how many guys can you squeeze into a first round? You can't see the record is 6.
If you're a team in the NFL – and you don't love your guy, next year's the year to move on.
I know it is.
I won't say it.
Okay.
We're all thinking it. We're all thinking it. Next year.
Don't say
Not
it.
this year.
Yeah.
Not this year.
Any team.
Next
any
year.
team that's thinking about moving on. But again, there aren't that many. We won't have to get into that. We don't have to get into how many teams want a quarterback. But
we're all thinking it.
We are not.
At City Place.
We are not. Yes, we are not at our leisure to talk about it right now. But yes, there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks in that next draft class. For sure.
So it's just weird. I don't love the situation and how it's coming out. I don't like how it comes down to this.
Yeah.
I thought it was early in the fact that Mensah said he was coming back to Duke. He was going to play for Duke. $4 million.
So
plenty of money.
Are you anti him?
I'm anti the
Duke.
process, and but you can't blame Miami. This is the game.
Yeah.
Can't blame Miami, but I can blame the system.
You can blame Can you blame Mensah? Are you mad at Mensah for taking more money to play at a bigger program, and then also to be able to do so for a team that is proven?
I can hold it against him. I can hold it if
Why?
you were because he could have went to the transfer portal and gotten more money, and he knows that.
He should have probably.
You know what I mean?
Place, yeah.
Like, 4 weeks ago, you could have left and you would have gotten more money, and you know that. LSU would have called you. All Tech would have called you.
Yeah.
All these schools, Indiana might have called
It's almost like he tried to be faithful, but then he's probably thinking, what's $5 million? I'm already making $4 million. Yeah.
And then he's like, what's $10 million? Wait a second. You say 10? You say 10?
That's more than he would have made in the
what I mean?
NFL.
That's what I'm saying.
And also, it's like people around him are like, hey, dog, hey, look. Like, at a certain point, he's not just doing it himself.
I can blame the agents.
He's getting pressure from the outside.
Yeah, why is a guy signing a 2-year contract? It's number one.
Yeah.
Why is a guy signing a 2-year contract? College football, college sports is a 1 year in, 1 year out situation. So I would say, I don't know why they're getting just 2-year contract. I don't even know why that's a thing.
Yeah.
But on top of that is I don't like how these agents capitalize on Duke contract number 1. And there's another one over here. Let's go get the most money. They don't have the right people in their corners telling them what to do because the agents just want money.
The family
wants money.
Friends want money.
The friends want money. He's thinking about his career.
Yeah.
Everybody else is thinking short. Everybody around him, I guarantee, outside of coaches, are thinking about the money.
Yeah, everybody's
so it's hard to judge these young men, these 20-year-olds, who are getting just life-changing money. And they're thinking, and all they're being told is that, hey, at the next level, this first-round pick is fizzled out. That first-round pick is fizzled out. This guy's played Michael Penix has played 16 career games, and they're already looking, do we move on from him? J.J. McCarthy has not even had a full season under his belt, and the Viking fans already done with him. That's what they're looking at.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams, who had a good rookie year, people are like, is he the guy for about 6 straight months in the offseason?
Yeah.
Stuff like that is what they see at the next level. When they think, I could go be the king of Duke. I could go be the king of Miami. I could go be the king of Texas Tech.
Look at Trinidad Chandler. She's like, I want to be the king in Oxford. Which I don't even know if you can call somebody a king there. Is it just you're like your royal majesty? You're just you're a minister of football. Like I couldn't call you a king in Oxford, Mississippi. But what I can say is how much of this is also a lot of these guys saying I don't want to be in New York.
It's comfort.
But I don't want to be in the Jets.
Right. I don't know if it's a Jets thing. I think it's an NFL thing because I think the NFL has given the impression to young college athletes that you have to figure it out, and the second you step on the field, if you're lucky, a 2-year timer starts.
Yeah.
And that timer is a nonstop sort of time, like a time bomb, until we make a decision on whether we like you or not.
But I will say, if it wasn't the Jets at number 2 in this draft, I do think there's a different tenor amongst quarterbacks, and I think Dante Moore comes out. I think
you think it's a Jets decision? I don't.
It's partially it weighs in.
I think partially it weighs in. I don't think it's a full thing.
It's not like they're discussing this. If you're sitting down with Dante Moore before he makes that decision, how soon into your argument for him to go back to college?
You're making it about the team. I'm making it about a macro level because, the Vikings is a good organization, and their quarterback who won a national championship with Michigan, who came out early, I mean, he's crashing and burning.
Who really expected that much from J.J. McCarthy?
But the thing is, he was a high-rated first-round pick. I mean, people thought he was going to be a first-round pick.
He was a polarizing prospect.
He was
from the jump,
no doubt,
because he didn't show us anything in college.
And how about this? How do you feel about Dante Moore?
He's good.
Is that not the same exact thing? He showed us that he's played on a good team. He showed us enough. We don't know we know Mendoza's a pro.
Yeah,
we know that guy can go start on the team tomorrow and be okay. Moore's sort of,
you're right.
Pretty good player.
Young as well.
He has another year.
Raw.
And Oregon's been consistent with having guys come back. Nix came back for an extra year. Herbert came back for an extra year. Mariota came back for an extra year.
Did Gabriel?
Gabriel's his last year, because he was at Oklahoma. I mean, he was at UCF, and then he was at Oklahoma, and then he shifted to Oregon. So these guys, I think it's an NFL thing. I think these guys are thinking, boy, the second I enter that league,
you're getting judged.
I am getting chewed out.
Yeah.
Coaches getting fired, new coaches, new leadership.
Yeah.
It is a survival of the fittest immediately. And if I'm not completely confident that I am ready, and maybe more isn't, but I got a $7 million contract waiting me of Nike money in Eugene, Oregon. What are we talking about?
And I know I could do this. Like, he knows in Oregon I can make a Final Four.
Part of
me,
I could blame him for not taking it because keep in mind the second overall pick was projected. If let's say he would have been the second overall pick, would have been projected at like a $38 million contract, fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more money that you're leaving on the field. And then as a fan is telling us right here, Trinidad Chambliss is trying to come back to Ole Miss when he probably could get drafted if he wants to.
He could.
And he's suing the NCAA for a statement.
You're understating the fact that he's trying to stay in college football. He's trying to take this stuff to the Supreme Court. Like, Trinidad Chambliss is begging and pleading. He's on all knees. He's praying to the higher beings that he's able to stay in college football. And that I actually don't agree with. That I actually don't understand. Here's a dude that won a national championship at the FCS level, who played his way into the quarterfinals in college football.
Semifinals.
Or the semifinals, you're right, against Miami in college football into the Fiesta Bowl. He showed all the stuff on tape that pro prospects or pro scouts want to see. The only thing he doesn't have is the starts at major college football level. But he's ready to go. He should go to the pros. He's played 6 years of college football.
I would go to the pros too.
I don't get the Trinidad Chambliss
because he is one of the rare prospects where the class in which you come out with will make a difference.
Yeah.
And where you get drafted.
Yeah.
Arch Manning came out, he still would be a top 10 pick.
He would. Ty Simpson's a
Fernando Mendoza comes out this year, next year, he's still a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
Mensa, in my opinion, first round pick. Chambliss is the one guy who, if he tests well, he interviews well, he has a good offseason, he rubs people the right way, and you have the high of how he finished the season.
Yeah.
That's where you could almost capitalize on a high draft stock and go. So I agree with you. I think he should go to the league, and I think he end up will because I don't think the NCAA is going to grant him instead.
I don't think so as well. And they'll be doing him a favor because imagine if Chambliss is in this next crop of quarterbacks. Because like you've said, we've already rallied off 7 quarterbacks who we both have for Colin, Russo, and Theo Dorsey, we've given them a first-round grade. Chambliss is not cracking that top 7 for pro prospect. If he's not going to crack the top 2 this year, he's not cracking the top 7 for next year. That's headlined by legacy names and guys who are getting paid $8 million, $7 million to play quarterback in college, like Dante Moore, Sam Levitt, and then there's going to be a surprise quarterback that pops up out of nowhere as well.
Absolutely, there's going to be the Mendoza on the bunch.
Yeah, so I am a little bit confused at his move, but in general, the money around college football and the treachery that comes with going into somewhere and failing in the NFL, it plays a lot into their decisions, man.
Theo, Dorsey, Colin, Russo of ESPN West Palm at Airstream here at City Place in West Palm Beach, where you got a big ESPN. You got Serve Pro Rapid Response Reflex games. You got Monster Energy drinks here. You got a ton of people hanging out on a Saturday evening, early evening in West Palm Beach, enjoying the day, having a lot of fun here. So come on down if you're in the West Palm Beach area and you want some good eats, you want to hang out, meet some people, and go get some Monster Energy drinks or go test your reflexes or come see us doing the show up until 7 p.m. But we'll be live here on site. Let's shift to the NFL postseason because as the Bronco-Bill game is closing into halftime, 10-10 ball game, Broncos driving. Going into that game, what was your expectation of what you saw from the Broncos? Because I was under the impression coming into the postseason and coming into this weekend specifically that both the 1 seeds, the Broncos and the Seahawks, who both play today, are in major trouble this weekend.
Yeah. Here's my thing. The Seahawks, I think, are safe.
Even with the Darnold questionable oblique.
Yeah, they'll be fine. And again, that's a bit of a concern in general, but I do think that the 49ers' lack of a pass rush, at least the one that we've not seen since we've seen other guys go down, I'm not as concerned with Sam Darnold, even if he has a bit of an oblique issue. I think the Broncos are in serious trouble, and I'm not just saying that because they're about to be tied at the half with the Bills. I am still worried about what Bo Nix is. Like, I still don't have a lot of faith in what he is with that offense. And as great as their defense can be, you're not stopping Josh Allen for 4 straight quarters. He's going to get away from you a little bit, especially if this game is close.
And they're a great second half. And they're a great second half team.
They've done it 20,000 times this year. So the Broncos, I do believe, are likely going to go down. I think the Seahawks are going to win safely against the Niners. I think the injuries are going to catch up to the 49ers.
Yeah, here's the thing with Buffalo is it's sort of a tale of 2 teams. The Broncos are a very well-constructed team, basically all over the field. Offensively, they need more pieces, but they have a great they have the best one of the best offensive lines in the league. They have one of the best defensive lines in the league. They have an excellent secondary. They got good linebackers. They have enough pieces on the receiver and running back position.
Yeah.
They just have a question mark second-year quarterback who is a bit erratic, and he has one good quarter out of every game, one great quarter out of every game.
He does.
And he's sort of like a gamer-type player where he is at his best when he doesn't have a plan to follow.
Yeah.
That has been the story of Bo Nix's career. And this is the same team, by the way, that Denver played in the first round of the postseason last year, and they lost 35-7. So I don't know how much I trust Denver. And to your point about the oblique thing with Sam Darnold about Seattle, he hasn't thrown since Thursday.
Yeah.
But the lines haven't changed.
Right.
So that means that the people who really know, and the Vegas really knows, they're under the impression that he's going to play.
He's going to be fine.
I assume he'll play.
They're going to shoot him up. He's going to be fine.
Yeah, he's going to be they're going to have a horse tranquilizer on it. He's not going to feel a thing. But point being is the thing about both those teams is they are both ultra well-constructed rosters with great defenses and good offensive lines and play callers and everything like that. They just have a quarterback that can melt down in a big spot.
Yeah.
Bo Nix is capable of melting down in a big spot, and I don't even need to bring up Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that makes you nervous, and I know some people aren't high on him. I am quite high on him. Purdy is good in a big game.
He is.
And Allen's good in a big game.
They are.
So right then and there, you trust those positions. And I also think that playing with house money, Buffalo's got a lot of pressure, but San Francisco, nobody's expecting them to win.
They aren't, yeah.
They got coaches taking coaching interviews. They're playing with house money. Seattle's got a ton of pressure to win this game. And because of that, I do like San Francisco.
You got to factor in playing in front of the 12 in Seattle. It's the toughest home field advantage in the playoffs in the National Football League. You also have to factor in the confidence that Seattle is riding with. I do believe that they, on both sides of the ball, like if you want to go tit for tat, Christian McCaffrey and the threat that he is versus Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's always open.
Yes.
I would go JSN, especially for a Seattle Seahawks team that has found a way to get him the ball time in and time out. I just love this Seahawks squad, and I think they get under. It's not, I don't know if it's a West Coast bias thing or if it's a Sam Darnold thing, but I think that we're still underrating how strong of a football team that Seattle is.
It's probably the most well-rounded team in the entire postseason.
Yeah, like they're just really solid. They're really well coached. Mike McDonald has done a great job since he's gotten there. That defense can be ferocious at times. On draft day when the Seahawks went and got Nick. I forget how to say his name. Enumiori, yeah, out of South Carolina. Immediately, I'm like, dog, he is going to find a way to weaponize that dude in an incredible way. And already in his rookie season, he has him flying around the ball in an incredible way. I have a lot of faith in the Seahawks team. They're my Super Bowl pick, actually. I got Seahawks v. Texans. I went with the two strongest defenses in the playoffs. And I think that this is going to be a game that comes down to which defense can make plays at the right time. But then also at the end of the day, this Super Bowl is going to come down to the two top defenses in the NFL. And I think the Seahawks are going to be the one that comes out on top.
Yeah, I think the Seahawks are great special teams. They got a great defense. They got a great secondary. They got a home field throughout the playoffs. And they got offensive and underratedly good running game. You know, they got Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker's had a very good NFL career.
Yeah.
You know, he hasn't been always healthy, but he is a great player when he's at the top of his game. As Buffalo's driving here, down to 30 seconds remaining. Denver's driving, excuse me.
Yeah.
And tied at 10, 31 seconds ago at the Buffalo 31-yard line. Likely going to be getting a field goal here. They still have a timeout to go as we continue on with the NFL postseason. But back to Seattle. The thing I don't love about them on top of this is I don't like the fact that they're playing the same team 2 times in a row. I don't love that.
Yeah.
And they played very well, great even, against that San Francisco offense about 14 days ago from today. So the fact is it's hard to do that twice, especially against a coach like Shanahan, an offense like that where, yes, it's sort of like misfit toys, but it's the it's the best coached offense in the entire league, bar none. They're the most plug-and-play offense in the entire NFL. Seeing them get shut down twice, I think would be a tough thing to ask. And they didn't have Trent Williams first time around, too. Yeah. Keep that in mind. And that was the whole reason they lost the game. Williams is back.
But this is the thing, though. Like, all right, Trent Williams is back. But the next 8 best players from the 49ers aren't.
Yeah, Kittle. They lost Kittle.
George Kittle is out. Like, it's
Fred
just
Warner's not playing.
It's Trent Williams. It's Christian McCaffrey.
And Purdy.
It's Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
There's nobody else out there.
I love that. I can't believe you're not getting behind that. That's a great story.
This is a Disney Channel.
That's a great story.
What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?
That's a great
story.
story.
Want me to go with a great story or a great team?
I like the Island of Misfit Toys. I like that.
So
it's a little underdog story.
No, yes, that's cute. That's adorable. I don't think that they'll win the football game, though. I think that they'll make it interesting, though.
I think they're going to make it. They're going to be a pain. But they're going to be a pain in the rear end for Seattle.
They're divisional rivals. There's a lot of familiarity
there. You played
there.
them twice in a row. That's going to be a hard game to win. And how about this? Do you not agree that Seattle's playing with maybe the most pressure that you're nervous about there at the postseason?
Well, here's one thing I'll say. Good on Sam Darnold for having a pre-baked excuse ready.
Yeah,
Love a guy with a pre-baked excuse.
I know. Does this not tell you that Sam Darnold hurt his oblique on a Thursday of a bye week?
Yeah.
And then he comes into the game and they run the ball 58 times and then they lose.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, oh, Sam Darnold was hurt. Look forward to next year.
But if they win and Sam Darnold throws 3 touchdowns, it's like, oh, look at him. He gritted it out. He got the monkey off his back. A playoff performance from a gutsy Sam Darnold. Like, I love a good you know what he's doing? He's pulling a LeBron James right here. You know, just give a little pre-baked excuse in there. Don't say it yourself.
Yeah, like second of the playoffs start, and LeBron's like, I've had a broken wrist since February. Yeah. Like, you know, then you're sitting there like, come on, man.
Yeah,
are you hurt? If you're hurt, then don't play.
You can't lose.
I can't. Yeah. So I'm under the impression that.
Bo Nick's got a touchdown there.
They did score. All right, so Denver went right down
Humphrey.
the field, and they were able to score with 22 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
Huge. That's huge.
So Denver is going to be in a good spot here. And I believe they got the ball first. So Josh Allen's going to get the ball at halftime.
22 seconds.
It's been a slow-moving game if Josh Allen can get 30 points on the board. Another thing about the Bills, too, before we close out and send you off into the second hour, is the thing about Josh Allen is we thought last week they were under staffed.
Yeah.
They lost 2 of their receivers who caught passes last week. Tyrell Shavers, who caught passes in the Jacksonville game.
ACL.
It gone. And Gabe Davis, who also caught a pass in the Jacksonville game, IR as well.
Yeah.
So they've lost 2 guys who are current players on the team, and Denver did start with the ball. So Buffalo's going to get the ball at half. They're going to have a chance to do a 2-for-1 here. They got no timeouts, 22 seconds remaining. So Denver's going to be playing a little bit of prevent. But it's weird because they're so understaffed and undermanned. It is really a one-man band for them.
Yeah.
They got that rushing attack, yes, and then it's all Josh Allen, which is why I don't love how this whole storyline of this postseason has been strictly about him, because they're making it seem like if Buffalo loses, this is a disgrace by Buffalo. I'm not that guy.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes, though. I agree with you.
I'm excusing them because of,
he's a grown-ass man. You're excused, Josh.
Theo, they're thrown to you and I at receiver. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they picked up a guy on the way to the stadium. Can you catch?
Nobody was crying for Lamar
bus.
last year when he was his best receiver was Rashad Bateman and Mark Andrews, who couldn't get the ball. Zay Flowers, who was his best guy, was out. I mean, this is what happens in the NFL. What I will say is, though, they are not the better football team. Like, the Broncos are better than them.
Yeah.
They might be the worst team in the AFC that is left, the Buffalo Bills.
I don't think I'd say that.
Who's worse?
I would say both the Texans and the Patriots are worse. Yes.
No, the Patriots proved that they weren't worse, and the Texans are definitively not.
They split. They split.
I think the first one was a little bit demonstrative.
Here's the thing. It was Josh Allen doing a little bit of a rushing attack,
and he lost the ball.
Laterals it. Oh, boy. What a disaster. That's the end of the end of the half.
No.
Wow,
there's Broncos going to get a field goal out of this?
There's a Josh Allen fumble on a final play.
Are the Broncos going to get a field goal out of this?
And with 2 seconds remaining, Denver actually recovers the
2
ball.
Seconds.
So I actually think they're in field goal range.
It's the Mile High Stadium too. So if they're with the win, they're rock solid.
So Josh Allen scrambles the football at their own 20-yard line. Yeah, this is definitely going to be in field goal range. They got the ball around the 35-yard line. They're going to be a 52-yard field goal. So Josh Allen loses the ball backwards. It rolls and rolls and rolls. And an offensive lineman for the Bills got his hands on it, and then it ends up being recovered by Denver. And Denver's going to get 3 out of this.
I think we can blame Josh Allen.
This is going to be a 10-point half, as long as they make this.
If he gets a field goal here, I do think if the Bills lose this football game, I can't. Are you still excusing Josh Allen?
Well, let's see how they lose. I mean, the game's not over. Let's see how they lose.
Over. I'm just saying you let
them. If it's 35-34, I guess we could always look back at that. But I understand what you're saying. As Will Lutz lines it up, and it looks like he nailed it. He nailed it.
What an insane into the half. Imagine you went to go take you take a little bathroom break.
Good for Denver. Yeah, this has been the story of Josh Allen this week, and Denver was able to do it. What a terrible play by Allen. Oh,
that's his career.
Goodness.
He honestly only plays good against the Chiefs in the playoffs. This has been Josh Allen's career. He's had.
That's not fair.
No. Not.
Played well last week.
It's been boneheaded play. That was an overstatement. That was an overreach. I'm overreacting to one play, yes. But that reminds me of so many plays I remember being introduced to Josh Allen.
That was the first playoff game they played against the Texans when he ran the football and threw the ball backwards.
Well, he just did it again.
Wow. You're not. I agree. I would be pissed if I was Sean McDermott. I'd be curious what he said to Tracy Wolfson. I'd be like, that makes me sick. That was a terrible play.
But you do have to. All right, so this is not going to be a referendum on Josh Allen's career, but you do agree, like, this is one of his best opportunities to win, not because of the team he has, but because of the opposition he has to go through. This is the most unproven group in the AFC that he's seen since he's been in the playoff race. Bo Nix, Drake May, C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
Are the guys, like, you've got to come out on top of that, and you can't make stupid plays like that at the end of a half.
We'll talk about the other divisional games we have this weekend. We'll take a timeout, do a little Miami game pick towards the end of the show. Got you till 7 p.m. today on ESPN West Palm on Twitter and Facebook, and ESPN South Florida on YouTube. That is Theo Dorsey, Colin Russo. It is the playoff party live from City Place, West Palm Beach. Back after this. Colin, Russo, and Theo Dorsey back live here at City Place, West Palm Beach, where we are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm, ESPN South Florida. You got NFL Divisional Weekend going on right now. You got a whole lot of action, and we got you up until 7 p.m. today as we are streaming live and talking about all the games because we got Bills and the Broncos at the 20-10 halftime score. The Broncos are actually up, believe it or not. So the Broncos kind of surprising people here as they were able to steal a field goal the last play of the game. And the Josh Allen fumbled the football at his own 35-yard line. Broncos recover it, and all of a sudden you kick a 50-yard field goal. You go into halftime with the two-score lead.
What were we accomplishing there? So the Bills have no timeouts. Josh Allen is scrambling the ball upfield, but between the hashes. So he's at least – he wasn't getting out of bounds at that point, so the scramble felt a little bit unnecessary in the first place. And then on top of that, the looseness with the football – it almost felt like at the end of the play, he tried to throw the ball backwards to keep it alive, not remembering that he was on his own side of the 50. And if the Broncos recover it, they can get 3, and that's exactly what happened there. It was like a rookie Josh Allen mistake. He's got to be better than that.
Let's talk about this Patriot-Texan game really quick, which is going to be the early game tomorrow.
Love the Texans.
And you like the Texans
Love
here.
the Texans.
You think even in it looks like it's going to be a snow game, by the way.
Yeah, that benefits Houston.
I agree.
Yeah.
Slows the game down a little bit.
Yeah.
But you don't think the Patriots have a chance in this game?
No, it's not that I don't think they have a chance because the Texans won't.
They won't score. They're not going to score. They're not going to score.
Yeah. So they're not. The Texans' offense is going to keep the Patriots in the game, but I am never betting against that Texans defense, and they got to have it drive for the New England Patriots.
Here's the thing: you could flip that statement,
Yeah.
and say, "Boy, do we trust that offense?" And it got to have it drive.
I don't think they'll be in that position. That's the thing. I think that Texans defense is so dominant that they are actually going to make enough plays to where even if they don't score the ball themselves, they're going to put the offense in enough positions to get three until eventually they can get 6.
Yeah, here's the thing. C.J. Stroud's career, he's 4-3 in playoff games. And he's lost in the second round of every playoff because he's won every year.
Yeah.
He's been to the postseason, but he lost the second game go-around.
Or 3-2.
Yeah, 3-2. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Because he's been 2-0
Yeah.
and then in the first round, and then 0-2 in the second round.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But the one thing about this team that I don't love is you got to win 3 road games.
Yeah.
If you want to go the whole way, you got to win 3 road games. And I don't know if I trust any team to do that. I'll trust Brady to do that, and that's what Brady did with Tampa Bay when he was a wild card. He went all the way to the Super Bowl.
Or Eli Manning.
Or Eli Manning. So I trust guys like that. I trust offenses like that. I do not trust Houston in this situation. I know their defense is otherworldly. It's one of the most bizarre case studies you've ever seen in your entire life because if you actually look at what they do defensively, Texans, they don't change coverages. They play straight up. They play man-to-man. They don't disguise. They don't send blitzes. They play straight up and say, we will play you one-on-one the entire game, and we will hit harder. We will tackle everybody. We will get to the quarterback. They rely completely and utterly on talent, and it's incredible.
And that's the thing; they have a lot of it. Like when they drafted C.J. Stroud, they traded in that same draft to get Will Anderson.
Yes.
Like when they purposely and intentfully built this team specifically around defense and having a guy in C.J. Stroud who they hope can be a franchise quarterback and should be, despite his 5 fumbles and an interception in the opening round of this playoffs. Like I think he course corrects from that. And I think that the way you have to look at C.J. Stroud going forward in these playoffs is he has to be the Houston Texans' Carson Beck.
Yeah.
Where he just don't lose me the game.
If he plays like he did against the Steelers, they lose.
Exactly.
And the Steelers, they were just lucky they played the Steelers, and the Steelers had absolutely no answers for them defensively, and they were a team that probably wasn't deserving of a playoff spot to begin with.
Should have been there. So, but the Texans' defense, though, I do really holistically believe in them. The secondary is elite. The linebacker core is about as good as you can. The pass rushing is like it's unreal. And again, that's why I compare them to the Miami Hurricanes of the NFL right now. Is Ruben Bain, Akeem Mesidor meet Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter. And you're getting some pressure from the interior forces as well. You have big Rankins, I believe, up there.
Sheldon Rankins.
They just have so many guys who are veterans, who are pros, who are all pros in this league, and then you have DeMeco Ryans leading it all. Like it's a perfect storm.
One thing about it is another player I want to specifically highlight that you mentioned is Danielle Hunter.
Yeah.
That guy's had an unbelievably underrated career.
I know.
He's got 114 sacks in his career.
And nobody talks about him ever.
He's 10 behind Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
He's 10 behind. And Myles Garrett just had 25 sacks. This guy's been a double-digit sack guy his entire career. He missed an entire year, the COVID year, because of a neck injury. He's played great for 2 franchises. That guy's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's 31 years old.
What do you think that is? Is it the franchise? It can't be the franchise he played for because he was with the Vikings and we all knew Jared Allen's name. Like what? Why do you think Danielle Hunter? When people put out that graph, on Twitter,
I think he's ultra consistent. I don't know, and he's a pass rushing specialist.
He's had like a near 20 sack season.
He had a 17.5 sack season and stuff like that.
So it's not like he hasn't popped before. Why is it that we don't consider Danielle Hunter like a superstar edge rusher? Like
because we have our tiers. We have the Myles Garretts of the world alongside, not anymore, but T.J. Watts and Max Crosby's.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, Aiden Hutchinson, Trey Hendrickson a little bit.
Yeah.
But outside of that, you go quite a bit before you get to Danielle Hunter. Danielle Hunter is as rock solid as anybody.
Yeah.
He is as good and as reliable as anybody in this league. I am a big fan of him.
And he's played for some great coaches.
Played for great coaches, I agree.
He was under Brian Flores' system and now under DeMeco Ryan. Like, Danielle Hunter has the coaching. He has the speed off the edge. He has everything, and he's a vet. Like
he's a Hall of Famer.
He's a Hall of Famer, and it's like we don't think of him that way, though. We don't talk about Danielle Hunter in that way. And the Texans' defensive backs on both sides, like they can shut you down as well. Like that's just a complete defense. It's the best defense left. Them and the Seahawks.
Yeah, definitely. And it's weird because the defense on the Seahawks is all about disguising coverages, being creative. The Vikings were the same way.
Yeah.
Be creative. You don't know what's coming. You don't know how to read this team. You don't know what's coming in terms of blitz packages or whatever. Texans, straight up, if there is a pie graph of most blitzes sent and like disguised coverages on like an X and Y axis, the Texans are on the bottom left, and the rest of the league is in the middle. They are so straight up and readable, and it still doesn't matter.
Yeah,
that is what their sort of thing has been.
They're just better. They're more physical.
That's it.
And that's something about that.
would
feels
make you not
more
sleep at night.
insurmountable.
Yeah. Because if you're Drake May and you're going against a team that's going to disguise me, all right, I just got to do a ton of homework.
Yeah, figure it out.
But this is like, I know it's coming.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not going to be fun.
There's nothing you can do about it. But again, the one caveat you have when you're playing against the Texans is, can we turn C.J. Stroud over? Can we stifle their offense and make players start? Because, another thing that will happen in games like this and in situations, imagine we get into a third quarter of Texans v. Patriots, and it's 3-6. The Patriots are leading. And the defense of the Texans are doing extremely well, but the offense isn't moving the ball
And
at
it turns
all.
into somebody just needs one drive.
And that's the issue is that's when players start playing outside of themselves, trying to be the guy to make a play to end the game. And that I think could be what hurts the Texans. Either defensively, maybe you have a D-back that jumps out of his lane and tries to jump on the ball to try to make a play and gives up something big, or on the other side on offense.
Players get tight. It's when players get tight.
Yeah, like C.J. Stroud trying to hold the ball too long to make a play and fumbling it. That could be the bane of the Texans. If not for that, I really like the Texans to escape with a pretty comfortable win against the Patriots.
Yeah, the thing about them is they've been pretty great, pretty stellar all year. The one team who caught Houston basically all year long was Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Jacksonville played well against them twice, and the only reason they lost them the second time around, they were up 29-10 in the fourth quarter and blew it.
Yeah.
They played them well all year long. And
Why
it's the only
is that,
team
though?
that
Why?
I think there's a little bit of a heated rivalry because of Al Shahir last year, the linebacker for the Texans, hit Lawrence, and the concussion.
Yeah.
So I don't think they like them. And for some reason, they could just figure them out. It's very bizarre. And I've been trying to figure that out, which is why I don't think the Texans are as good as everybody else does.
Yeah, because
I know the games. I know those games. Well, I'm thinking that Jacksonville's moving the ball. This is fine. And if for some reason they have just completely shut down everybody else. And as for the Patriots, they got a rookie running back. They got a second-year quarterback. They're going to have a rookie left tackle going against Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson. It's going to be Stephon Diggs. It's going to be
Derek Stingley
Jr. It's just going to it's a tough matchup. It's a tough matchup.
That is a squad. Matter of fact, I was just playing with my buddy the other day in Madden. He had the Texas defense. I couldn't move the ball at all.
Right.
So damn, I can relate to this struggle.
Right. So I don't. The weird part is I'm saying all these good things about the Texans, and I actually don't think they're going to win.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the Texans offense is going to give them anything. I think the Patriots are going into that game fine. We're going to have struggles offensively.
Yeah.
We know this. But we're going to make sure they do too.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be the key to their game.
So what do you see being the narrative? What do you see being the narrative after this weekend on Tuesday? Similar to what you talked about.
Biggest theme I'll have is I think, and I don't know how I feel now because after Denver's playing, and Denver just got another strip sack fumble of Josh Allen, and they're about to recover that. I believe that's Zach Allen.
It is falling apart.
And I think he did. So Buffalo is kind of blown up a little bit because the Broncos are going to get the ball at the 18-yard line. 14 to go in the third quarter. Josh Allen steps back to pass his first pass of the second half.
Not even 50 seconds into the quarter.
And 50 seconds into the quarter, and they get a strip sack fumble. Wow.
Let's see what happens here.
Right around geez.
You got
that's
Khalil
Nick Bonito.
Shakir trying to block Nick Bonito, who's one of the more furious edge rushers in the league. I mean, what are we talking about here?
So Broncos are in a great spot here. I was going to say my theme, if you asked me yesterday, was I actually thought the one seeds were both going to struggle.
Well, it looks like the Broncos are gonna...
we're one down, one to go.
Yeah.
I still think the one seed in Seattle is going to struggle. I'm going to die on that hill. Seattle is going to struggle tonight. And you know what I didn't like? Here's a big thing for me. A theme for me.
Yeah.
Let's think about it if you're in the NFL for a second. The NFL, the 49ers played at Philadelphia on Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock. They flew back. They got into San Francisco, 2 in the morning on Monday morning. They find out that they play on Saturday night in Seattle. Whereas the Bears and the Rams, we haven't talked about that game yet. Bears-Rams is on Sunday night when both those teams played on Saturday.
Oh, yeah, extra rest.
So they get 6 days versus 8 days when it's a completely avoidable problem. And on top of that, Seattle's coming off a bye.
I'm also not quite sure why they did that.
They screwed them over. They only did it because they think Bears-Rams going to get a huge rating. That's my opinion.
It's a ratings issue.
I think it's a ratings thing, which is stupid because you're hurting San Francisco there.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Nobody really cares about San Francisco.
No. Because of that,
yeah.
I think San Francisco is going to play with a lot of guts because they know that the NFL is screwing them over.
All you've done is talk
Theo,
about the deficiencies of San Francisco.
You got to understand theme.
Yeah.
This is theme.
You're talking all. This is not Disney Channel. All right?
You got to understand story.
This is not Marvel.
Because if I'm Kyle Shanahan and I beat Seattle today, when whoever is doing the game today, I believe it's Fox doing that game tonight. Yes,
Yeah.
so Brady and Burkhardt. And when they have Aaron Andrews do the sideline reporting right after the game, and they say, Aaron goes to Kyle Shanahan, she goes, Kyle, what are your thoughts? He goes, the NFL screwed us with the scheduling. That would be my first thought.
I understand that. That's nice. You can say that. He's not going to get the chance. I don't think they're going to win.
They're not going to interview him after the game?
I don't think they're – I think there will be an interview at the game.
At the press conference.
It'll be at the press conference at the podium, and he'll be talking about next year. And that's the sad part about this is imagine if the 49ers were at full health.
Well, imagine if they
Super
win.
Bowl
If
favorites.
they win, Fred Warner's playing next week.
That's what it –
No, he practiced this week. He'll play. He's going to be shut up with horse tranquilizer like you wouldn't believe. He won't be able to feel anything. But
bro,
he'll play.
Do you really think?
Yes.
Everybody keeps saying
they
that.
said that during the Chicago game.
See it to
they said
believe
that
it.
during the Chicago
I
Sunday
gotta
Night
see
Football
it.
game that Fred Warner's tracking for the NFC Championship game if he's healthy.
That is ridiculous.
It's crazy. And he'll play.
He and I don't want to say died on the field. He football died on that field this year. That was one of those ugly injuries where it's like,
He has
will
lived
he be
in
out
a
for some part of next year?
chamber for the last 3 months to get onto this field. Yeah.
Oh, that's a madman.
So I just like the story of San Francisco because I think it's the best coached team in the NFL right now. I don't know if Shanahan's the best coach, but right now they have the best coaching staff available. They got Saleh there, they got Shanahan there. They've done such a good job throughout the year that I just want to see this continue going. And I think it would provide for a better game. And I think if Chicago were to beat the Rams yesterday, and we haven't talked about that game yet, we will.
Yeah.
I think Chicago's going to win. But if Chicago wins and the Niners win, you get Niners-Bears, who played in Week 17 in that excellent 42-38 game.
Crazy.
And it's going to be in Chicago this time around. And last time it was in San Francisco. And it'll probably be in a snow game at Soldier Field.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
The Bears' defense can't stop a nosebleed. It's specifically they couldn't do it against the Niners. So
They did a good job in the second half against the Packers. You got to give them a little credit there.
The Packers?
Still.
The Packers offense.
Here's what pissed me off about that game. Because Ben Johnson went into that Bear-Packer game, and he basically waved the white flag on his defense.
Yeah.
Because he's going for it on fourth down in the second quarter in their own 30. That's basically saying, I don't trust defense.
Did
I don't
he
think
have
our
any
defense is
right
any
to?
good.
Did he have any right to?
Now, hold on.
The defense
Give
is
Dennis
terrible.
Allen, defensive coordinator, credit. Because they came out in that second half, and they shut down the Packers 4 straight punts to start out the quarter. If not for that, we'd be having a different ball game.
Montez Sweat came up big.
So that's what I'm saying. I just give them a little credit.
I like the Bears. I have the Bears winning against the Rams. I have the Bears.
Yeah. I think the weather's going to be the deciding factor.
Yeah. Well, I can see that game going. Of all the games this weekend, that's
going to be about 0 to -5 wind chill.
I feel least confident. You know Caleb Williams' nickname though, Iceman.
They calling him Iceman?
They're calling him Iceman.
Are they calling him Iceman?
Sir.
Is that a thing?
You're a Bears fan? Bears fan
we got
right
Bears
here.
fan right here. They do call him Iceman.
It's Iceman.
Okay.
He's the Iceman. Hey, that's so hard. We do not have good nicknames in today. I've been complaining about
Iceman.
this for the past.
That's taken.
You don't
That was
like
the guy in Top
Iceman?
Gun. I do like Iceman. That's Val Kilmer in Top Gun. That's who Iceman is. That's his nickname. That's
George Gervin. I thought you were going to go.
Yeah, fine. True.
It's a nickname that transcends sport. Which sport is this other guy in that you just named? Is that baseball?
No, it's a Top Gun the movie.
Top Gun?
Iceman.
Top Gun? That's going to be the thing that stops us from calling Caleb Williams Iceman?
It's classic. Let's be fair.
I don't care.
It's a great movie.
Classic. He wasn't even the star. He wasn't even a star in the movie.
He's a great character in the movie.
Okay, he's a great character. He's a B character in the movie. Caleb Williams is an A character for Chicago.
You're not being fair. You're not being fair. It's a great character and a great movie.
You don't like the nickname. Why not?
Because it's taken. That's why I don't like it.
It's not taken.
Yeah, 4 other guys have the nickname.
It's a generic nickname.
We call him the Enforcer like 100 other people?
He's not the Enforcer. He's the Iceman. Did you see him? He did it after the throw. The DJ Moore
Let's
throw.
call him Jumpman while we're at it. You know.
Well, he did do the Jumpman as well, so it's available.
Fine, we can call him Jumpman's not taken, is it?
So I like the nickname. I like the narrative behind him winning in a
call
snow
him King
game as
Caleb
well.
instead of King James.
You know what I like? How about this one? The Great One.
Stupid. What a waste.
No, stop. You get it? Do you get it?
Yes.
The cheese grater, the great, because he keeps beating
the Packers.
You're talking about. See, he didn't even get it. He didn't even get it.
I think you're talking about one because he was selected number 1.
Well, he is, and he's but see, he like that Bears fan. I get a snap.
The Great One. I don't know. That's about one.
All right, well, we'll figure it out.
Here's
But
the thing.
something with great.
If Caleb Williams' nickname is the great one,
Something
every
with
game he loses against the Packers is going to be a rough watch. That'll be a rough watch. He's going to lose games against the Packers.
It is.
It'll be a rough one.
But Ben Johnson has already planted his flag that he's already put his reputation on the line every game against the Packers. Why not?
That is one of the
Caleb
best
Williams
things the Bears I've seen this year is the Bear fan making the cheese grater
I
thing.
love that hat.
That's been the best.
I got to get
That is great.
My wife's side of the family, all from Chicago. Her dad, everybody, all Bears fans. That's why I went to that Bears game earlier this year in Minnesota against the Vikings. And I have to get them the Greater hats. That's the easiest gift in the history of gifts for whatever the next anniversary, Christmas, whatever it is. I'm getting them all cheese grater hats because I think that's one of the most spectacular inventions in sports right now. It's dope.
That is, I agree.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
The Iceman.
You're not rocking with it.
That's a waste of time. That's a waste of time.
They're embracing it. Have you seen the ice sculpture of Caleb Williams in downtown Chicago?
I've not seen
They
that.
made an ice sculpture of Caleb Williams. It's in color somehow of him in the 18 Bears jersey.
You know what's funny? Bear fans didn't even like the guy 3 months ago.
They didn't.
They didn't even want him. The guy had a good rookie season, and they couldn't stand Caleb
They
Williams.
hated him.
Let's be fair. Now he's the great one.
Yeah, he's the great one. Well, he's the Iceman.
No, let's be fair. Let's be fair. Bear fans wanted him out of town about 3 months ago,
Yeah.
and they couldn't stand him after the first Packer loss. Keep that in mind.
Ben Johnson changes everything. Look at how you're a Jaguars fan.
Yeah.
Liam Cohen changes everything. Trevor Lawrence, I was mocking the fact that they were calling it Trevor Bank Stadium last year. Now he looks like the franchise player that people told us he would be.
The thing is, I'm being a little both sides. I'm just talking about the Bear fan here.
Yeah.
I actually think Caleb's a good player. I actually thought he had a good rookie year last year. All things considered, Caleb Williams, he had 20 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He had moments.
Terrible head coach.
Yeah,
two or three play callers.
He had a good year. All things considered, he had a good year for a number 1 overall pick on a number 1 overall team, which you know is not going to be very good.
Yeah.
I actually thought, all things considered, he did a good job. And I thought it was completely ludicrous that everybody was going on and on about whether this guy's the one or not, because that's a waste of time.
Yeah.
That's the problem we talked about earlier about these college players, because Caleb Williams, number 1 overall player, you're going to play him through his 5th-year contract. You know that.
Yep.
And for some reason, we're still having conversations of whether we trust him or not after his rookie season in which the coach was fired at Thanksgiving.
Right.
That's just not fair.
And we knew before the season kicked off that them rolling up with a lame duck head coach and Matt Eberflus was already – now, we did say he had the best rookie starter pack of all time because the Bears had all the weapons and all of the highlighter plays. But Matt Eberflus was a lame duck head coach. So that first year, similar to the Urban Meyer year, similar to Cam Ward this past year with Brian Callahan. It's a lame duck head coach. We know what's going to happen with that, and then you move forward. Everything since Ben Johnson has walked into that building has been positive for Caleb Williams, and I do think that he's on track to be one of those guys who we say, oh, no. Like, come playoff time, we're saying 2 or 3 years from now, oh, damn, but we got to get through Caleb.
Yeah, I was so impressed with Caleb last week. You know who I wasn't impressed with was Ben Johnson. I thought Ben Johnson was actively trying to lose that football game in that first half. By going forward on the 4th down on his own 34-yard line, doing it again on the 40-yard line.
He's trying to put his mark on the game.
No. That's the Dan Campbell gambling, addict.
It's what lost in the championship.
Right. You cost your team games by doing that, and you're very lucky that you didn't in that spot. Because it was 21-3 before you could blink. You spotted them 21 points in the game.
Yeah.
So I really did not like how Ben Johnson handled that game. I really didn't. So I was down on him. I thought they won that game in spite of him comparatively.
I do think so. You can say that. Now, comparatively, though, if you're in that locker room and you know that Ben Johnson also did put faith and trust and confidence into his offense in those moments,
right.
How much more do they pick up their own cross and say, hey,
totally.
You know what? You believed in us. We felt you. We're going to get right.
There's a level of believing the offense on a 4th and 2 at the
Yeah.
opposing 15-yard line. There's something to that. At your own 34-yard line in the middle of the second quarter, everybody in the building, including the broadcasters, were thinking, what the heck are you doing?
It's risky.
It's reckless.
It's reckless. It's risky. It didn't work out.
So because of that, I was really down on Ben Johnson. And he's lucky that he was going against one of the biggest choke artists in the entire NFL in Matt LaFleur.
What's going to happen with him?
They're going to keep him. They should have fired him the second the game ended.
I think he's a good coach.
They would have John Harbaugh.
The issue is he's a good coach.
He's a good coach.
He's a good coach.
He is a
You
good
were out
coach.
there in Wisconsin. I mean, if the fans are on – They've
had enough of him. They've had enough of him. Remember, keep this in mind. They've had 3 straight 7 seeds. They've had 3 straight first-round exits since the first year that Jordan Love won a playoff game. They've done absolutely nothing in the postseason since. They've been erratic throughout the regular season. I know they got hurt with the injuries, but it's always been a team. I mean, think about this year alone. They were up 9 on Denver when Micah Parsons went down. They blow the game. They were up 10 on Cleveland when they went down. They blew the game. They were up 10 on Chicago in the last in the last 2 drives of the game, Chicago scores, gets 2 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes of the game.
That was crazy, though. Onside kick, I mean,
they
that's
have
not – you can't blame Eberflus.
blown games. LaFleur.
LaFleur.
But, like, they have multiple blown games this year. Who else do you look at other than the coach? Because Love played well. I am down on LaFleur. I am down on Johnson. I am really not a fan of a lot of those NFC North coaches. I think, Dan Campbell could be my coach any day of the week.
Yeah.
But he's a
Dan
leader of
Campbell
men.
coached his way out of the NFC Championship
Another
game.
guy who did the same thing.
Yeah. None of these guys are going to be perfect.
There's something about those offensive-minded head coaches. I think Cohen did it. There is something about these offensive-minded head coaches where they are so short-sighted in the context of the game.
Yeah.
They get in their own way.
I think a lot of it is, though, they do have that much, not just confidence in their own play call, but the guys that they roll with.
Arrogance. It's arrogance.
All right, so that's when it borders on that line of arrogance. But I like the confidence because sometimes it actually proves right. Like we saw even at the tail end of his tenure with the Patriots, Bill Belichick leaning more in on going
And Reed was always
down.
good. The Chiefs have always been great at that, too. The Chiefs
Chiefs
have always been great at going for a 4th and 3 or 4th
Harbaugh.
and 4. They've always been good at that.
Harbaugh made his name off of that on a few
There's
big
a happy
plays.
medium we need to find. That's somewhere where Ben Johnson is and somewhere where Mike Tomlin is, where we could just find the middle ground and know when to go for it on the 4th down.
I will say, there's a certain team that would have loved to have a guy like LaFleur as their head coach if the Packers would have gotten rid of him. And that certain team may or may not have a certain person in their front office now that was tied to Matt LaFleur at one point. I'm just putting that out there as another thing as well. LaFleur would be coveted around the league if he does get fired by the Packers.
No problem, and I get it. No problem there, and
Yeah.
I agree with you. But
the Bills got a
sometimes a
touchdown.
change of pace is beneficial to all sides.
It is. That's what we're seeing with the Ravens and the Steelers. So it is. Bill scored a touchdown, Keon Coleman.
Keon Coleman, oh, wow, he just lays out for it. How
What a
about him
play.
playing again, too? Because they need him. That's the only reason they're not healthy scratching him. But that will likely be 23-17. Broncos up over Bills in the 3rd quarter. That is Theo, Dorsey, Colin, Russo, live from the Airstream at City Place in downtown West Palm Beach. Having a great time here at the ESPN Radio College Football Campus Tour activation. Serve Pro Rapid Response. You got Monster Energy drinks. You got a lot of people enjoying their Saturday evening here in West Palm Beach. We'll be back after this, give some game picks, talk about the rest of the weekend, and finally make some predictions. That's all to come here on the playoff party on ESPN West Palm.
Let's go.
Rolling on here back at City Place in West Palm Beach from the Airstream. We're at City Place having a good time. That's Theo, Dorsey, Colin, Russo here. We got a lot to talk about, a lot of game picks to make. The Broncos did score, so 6:45 to go in the third quarter, and Denver driving now at their own 40-yard line. Going to be 3rd and 5 here momentarily, up 23-17 over the Buffalo Bills in the first of the 4 divisional games we have this weekend. And we also have the 49ers and Seahawks being our nightcap tonight on Fox. You have Texans-Patriots tomorrow on ESPN, 3 o'clock. And then you have 6:30, Rams at Bears. Which game of the 3 remaining are you most looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to Bears-Rams.
That's why they give it Sunday night. That's why they give it Sunday night.
See, now you're
listen, I would have put it on Saturday night if I ran the schedule. I would have said, you know what, 49ers deserve a little bit of a break, but, I'm not greedy.
You love the Niners. What is this? What do you love about the Niners?
It's not about the Niners. I like fairness. You know what I like? I like fairness. Yes, it's fairness.
About fairness, man. It's
a
grown man's business.
Oh, please.
It's a gladiator sport.
Sunday, 4:30. You should not be flying from Philadelphia to San Francisco and then San Francisco to Seattle.
I'm flying first class. They're chartering planes.
Oh, my God.
You give a damn about their air travel.
You're lost. You're lost.
Well, I'm lost at what, though? Like, why are you
Bears and Rams
such a
are
Niners?
both got 8 days rest. They're going to be fancy as
yeah, at least they're both.
They're going to be skipping through the line, and the Niners are going to have crutches coming out of the tunnel.
You deserve it. The Seahawks earned the number 1 seed. You know who
I
had
have no problem with that.
Yeah.
Talking about the Bears and the Rams. That should be on Saturday.
All right, but you're mad that the Niners are
beat up.
The Niners are beat up and had to play shorthanded against the Seahawks.
Shorthanded and then on short rest.
The Seahawks it's a benefit to the Seahawks.
I know it's a benefit to the Seahawks, but
they earned it. They're the
you're
1
not
seed.
taking into Magic and Mojo and theme.
Damn about Magic or Mojo.
That is what the Niners have.
This is not
Don't
frozen.
look at me.
This
Don't
is
look
not
at me.
Frozen.
17-13 final score when San Francisco takes it, and all of a sudden they're going to be going to play your Iceman pal in Chicago.
This guy believes in fairy tales over here.
Fairy tales.
Colin Russo's over here.
They just beat the defending champs. You going to give them a little credit? Hey, you and
champs.
I at linebacker.
Yeah. Well, the Philadelphia Eagles had you and I at receiver. It looks like with A.J. Brown's hands. So, no, forget all of that. Let's get back to the game that I'm most looking forward to, Bears-Rams. Bears-Rams. How is this not one of the more compelling? It is. It is the most compelling matchup. That's why they put it in the slot it's in. But when you look at this game specifically, you have Caleb Williams in his second playoff game. You have Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford in what is, potentially one of our last playoff runs we'll see with them. And they need it more than what the Bears needed for because they have less yarn in the string here.
Right. They have less fuel in the tank.
But then also, what does that offense look like now that you have Devontae Adams back full go? What does that offense look like against a Bears defense that has given up a lot of points against another team in your division? And I'm curious for Ben Johnson what his play calling changes to because you criticized him for it, his aggressive play calling against the Packers in the first round. I wonder if that changes a little bit more now that he is, again, the person that is fully culpable for everything and not just the OC, and he's going to have to answer for those things in the press conference. Like, does he stick to his guns and do it again?
Yes.
Or does he back off of it because of the issues that it caused?
He is from the Dan Campbell tree of we are going to die on this hill.
He's probably going to stick to his guns.
We're going to die on this hill.
I want to see that. That's entertaining for me as a fan.
Josh Allen throws an interception. They had the ball down 23-17 at midfield, and he throws a deep pass, gets intercepted, gets returned about 35 yards, so Denver's going to have the ball. Josh Allen, 2 pretty crucial turnovers in a game where Denver, again, is begging to lose.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen just needs to take it, and they have not played great to this point. But they're still in it.
One of my group chats are blowing up. Somebody said Josh Allen is point shaving at this point. So I did not see the throw, but it must have been very incredulous.
Was not a great throw. But back to the Bears and Rams game. The thing about this game that interests me is the Rams haven't played in a game under 50 degrees all year. This game is going to be the 8th or 9th coldest game in the history of Soldier Field.
Ben Johnson called that out.
And it's a very underrated home field because let's think about this. How many true North stadiums do we get outdoor games in consistently in January? The Packers, yes, but we haven't seen that since Rodgers. And that's been 4 years ago because they've been 7 seeds ever since.
The Meadowlands?
Yeah,
it doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen in the Meadowlands. Yeah. Pittsburgh gets 1 game a year and then they lose.
Well, really, they're on the road a lot. Too.
Baltimore is that's not a true North stadium.
The Packers, it's Midwest. I mean, not the Packers, the Chiefs. The Chiefs.
The Chiefs is maybe as close as you can get because that is a Midwest, probably a little bit more than Southern. It's sort of on the edge.
But the coldest game in modern football history happened at Kansas City.
Right, so that's why I
count
it. But outside of Kansas City, you don't see a lot of true Midwestern cold North, and that's the coldest part of the United States.
Yeah.
You don't see that. that often because Chicago's never there, and we haven't seen home games in Lambeau in the last 4 or 5 years really that worth anything. So because of that, I think that really you'll forget just how cold it can get and windy it can get in an environment like that. I don't even know if the Bears are ready for it, but I definitely know that the Rams are not going to be ready for that.
Yeah.
So that, I think, it will be a big deciding factor in the game. And the Bears, it's going to be the story of all. You know they're going to fall down early. You know it's going to be 10-0 before you blink. You know you're going to count them out. You know it's going to be, finally the Bears are caught. And then it's going to be a couple bad drives coming out of the second half for the Rams. Yep. They're going to itch their way back into the game, crawl, and then all of a sudden it's going to be a tie game in the fourth quarter. Yep. That's if I had to predict this, is this going to go like any Bear game we've seen all year, it would be like that.
The Bears also have a very underrated rushing attack, and a lot of that has to do with them not having the fancy, highfalutin names. But, I expect for DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monungai to be able to get off in this one. Colston Loveland has been a godsend as a tight end.
And they only trust him.
Blocker.
They only trust him. I mean, DJ Moore has been an asset. They've forgotten about Rome Odunze outside of that 4th and 8 at midfield. And it's really been the Colston Loveland show.
Yeah, so good. He's so good.
I agree, but, there's definitely playoff time. They don't care about spreading the ball. It's about who do we trust and who are we going to get the ball to. Yeah. And that is what Chicago has played like.
And Colston Loveland is a matchup issue. He's big. He plays over the middle for Caleb Williams, so that's helpful to him because he's not the tallest quarterback that provides a big target over the middle. But most importantly, what I was getting to with the run game, Loveland is a plus blocker.
Yes.
And so he's able to be in on all of the snaps that Ben Johnson wants him to be in on. And I know that feels a little inside football, but it matters to the mechanics of that Bears offense because they love doing a lot of run action. They love getting Caleb Williams on the move. And now you have to play for, is he handing it off to Monungai or Swift for an explosive run, or is he going to fake it, and then you're going to get Loveland beating you down the seams? It's really tough to stop.
And the Rams haven't played well. They haven't played well in a month. That Seattle loss, the last time the Rams played great was up 30-16 against Seattle on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
That was the last time they were great. And since then, they have not played great. They blew that game. They lost 37-36 in overtime. Mm-hmm. And going into the rest of the weeks, they had that terrible loss against Atlanta. That last game of the year was ugly enough against Arizona. And then they played last week against Carolina where they let them hang around.
Yeah, that's weird. I did not like that.
They let them hang around. Carolina had every chance to win the game. They just needed to get a field goal last drive of the game, and they, 4 and out.
That's a bit embarrassing. That would have been an embarrassing way for the Rams to go out.
So they haven't played well. Yeah. They really haven't played well in a month.
Yeah.
So if we're just under the impression that they're trending in the right direction all of a sudden, they're not. They are trending downward, but they are still so talented and so playoff experienced that they're able to get away with it.
And I like Sean McVay, too. You talked about the Niners being the most well-coached team. The Rams have Sean McVay, who I think is the better
McVay
offensive
and Shanahan.
mind. Those
are the 1A, 1B right
And then
now.
also Jeff Hafley. That's the Packers.
Who are you talking about?
Chris Shula.
Oh, Chris Shula.
For the Los Angeles Rams is out here getting head coaching interviews as well. He's a really good DC.
And Nathan Steelhouse is their passing game coordinator, who also is getting head coaching interviews as well.
Yeah, so it's like they're a very well-respected coaching team. That's the thing I will say about this. The teams we have left, it's not the traditional powers, but it's a lot of power players left between Josh Allen and Matt Stafford, all of the coaches involved, the defensive leaders on both sides. There's a lot of different teams that can win a Super Bowl, but none of them stick out.
And the weird part is 7 of the 8 quarterbacks remaining have not won a Super Bowl, and 6 of the 8 coaches remaining have not won a Super Bowl as well. Only McVay has, only Sean Payton has, and only Stafford has.
I was just about to say, who's the other coach? Sounds like McVay's
coaching right now.
He is coaching right now.
So,
he's on his way to victory.
Yeah, right. So outside of that, there's going to be some new. There's going to be new guns in there, which is why that is fun.
Yeah.
And but make a prediction today. I know you're going to stick to your guns of Seattle. Are you still sticking with Seattle at this point?
I'm sticking with Seattle. Bo Nix and Josh Allen, I think, are going tit for tat with who can make a worse play. It looked like he almost fumbled that ball, but it was a forward pass. I'm going to stick with Seattle because I made the pick pregame. I'm not going to be a coward and change it. I'm going to stick with the Bills, even though that goes against everything I'm seeing right now.
They still have a chance. They're fine.
Here's the issue. Josh Allen's playing terribly.
Yeah,
and
he's not playing great. From what we could see, he's not had a terrific game.
That Broncos defense feels comfortable. They know they can force him into more mistakes. So
but the one thing the Broncos would do is, even if they're better than them, they're going to make it close.
I don't think the Broncos score again.
You're going to play a close game regardless of what happens.
Yeah.
They could play great. They could play poorly. It's going to be a close game. That is what the Broncos' mantra has been.
It is 23-17 right now. Denver leads. 2.5 minutes left in the third quarter. I don't think the Broncos score again, maybe a field goal. The question is, can they stop the Bills from scoring?
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, Denver's going to do exactly what they've done. They've danced with the devil every single week.
Yeah.
Basically the entire year. They escaped that Washington game. They escaped that Raider game on Thursday Night Football. They escaped that Giant game,
That Giants game
earlier
was
in the year.
That
Ridiculous. They scored 33 points in the fourth quarter. Time and time again, they have escaped these games. The first game against the Chiefs when Mahomes was healthy at home.
Yeah.
They escaped that game in the fourth quarter.
Ridiculous.
This has happened time and time again. Do they really want to do this in a playoff environment with a guy who is probably the most dangerous player, fourth quarter and on, in Josh Allen?
They have no choice.
And I didn't believe it because I was a Jacksonville fan, and Jacksonville scores to go up 24-20 with 4 minutes to go. And right when they scored, I said, too much time. Too much time, and it only took Josh Allen 3 to score.
But also there was too much time for Trevor Lawrence.
There was plenty of time for Trevor Lawrence.
That was the – I feel bad for you. I'm laughing a little bit.
That's fine. Here's the thing.
But that was so quick.
They had no business winning the game.
That was ridiculous.
Out of a playoff loss, it's not I as a fan of Jacksonville, and I haven't seen a lot of playoff wins or losses to their name, to their credit. But the one thing I'll say is
some love.
you gotta look at the game objectively, and objectively they did not deserve to win. They couldn't get a first half lead. They squandered it with 2 bad turnovers. Trevor Lawrence had a pick earlier in the game. And then they also had the 4th down on turnovers when they had a chance to go up 14-3, which would have changed the game.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, they needed 2 stops because they got the lead twice. They needed 2 stops to prevent a touchdown, and they allowed a touchdown twice.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't deserve to win.
That's probably why Travis Hunter's going to be stuck playing
corner
next year.
And how about this? And you needed 3 points to tie the game.
Yeah.
You're down 27-24 with a minute to go with a guy who can kick the ball from 70 yards away. And you pick it on the first play.
That was ridiculous.
You don't deserve to win.
What was that? I didn't even go back and look at that play. It happened so fast. What was
over
the
middle?
there?
Over the middle, tipped up. And it happened about 3 or 4 times in the game where Trevor Lawrence tips the ball. He throws it into traffic. Jacoby Myers, I want to say.
It happens. I literally wasn't. I missed it.
That was their game plan.
I didn't know if they showed it on TV
Jacksonville's
live.
game all year has been passes over the middle, deep ins.
That
has been their game.
About to retire.
And their Bills' game plan was, every time this happens, we're going to tip it up.
Yeah.
Tip it up. It's anybody's ball if it's tipped up. Happened about 3 or 4 times in the game, and the Bills had opportunities earlier in the game.
Yeah.
Finally ended up burning them.
So back to the picks. I'm going to stick with the Bills pick because I made it beforehand.
I like the Bills, too. I don't think Denver's going to win this game.
Okay. I got the Seahawks tonight.
I disagree.
I have the Houston Texans walking away with the win against the New England Patriots, and I'm sticking with the Bears against the Rams. It feels a little chalky right now, but I do believe those are the better teams this weekend, and we're going to have a very interesting championship weekend. But what are you going with here, Colin?
Well, you have 2 home teams and 2 away teams there. I'm going to go away team in the Bills. I'm going to go away team in the Niners. I'm not going to go the away team in the Patriot game. I think that's the sole home team that will win this weekend. And then I think – actually, no, 2 home teams. And then I think the Bears are actually going to win against the Rams. So I got 2 home teams tomorrow and 2 away teams today.
It's weird because despite the Bears being at home, they feel like they are like the dog because it's like the Rams are the mainstay and the Bears are the newcomer.
They're sort of got the same token and the same feel as Denver's. You're sort of just waiting for it all to fall apart.
Yeah.
Right? They've just been flirting with disaster all season long. And I don't love that. But
Matt LaFleur. Some news on Matt LaFleur. We spoke it into existence here, but it just came down the line here. Matt LaFleur and the Packers are extending a contract, so they do believe him to be the guy to carry them into the future. The one thing I don't like about the whole LaFleur experience in Green Bay is how he won't commit to a number 1 receiver and run an offense through a guy like most offenses in this league. The Packers were really good at doing that when they had Devontae Adams.
He's so bad with the lead, too. He's bad with the lead.
Yeah, not the best in-game coach, but he's had his moments, and I think the problem is like if you're the Packers and you're looking at the job market right now and you're saying there's 9 openings if you count the Giants.
Yeah, you only do it if Harbaugh's available. Now you don't do it.
Right. And he's still available. Is it official yet?
Yeah.
It
just got official about an hour, 2 hours ago.
Okay.
So John Harbaugh to the Giants is official.
All right, so there's 8 openings in the NFL. Do you really want to jump into that pool late?
Probably not. Granted, it's the best job. I think the Packers is the best job in the NFL. I think it's the best job in the NFL.
It would be. No, I mean the Ravens is number 1. Did
I tell you my
Packers
Tomlin
2.
prediction?
Ravens?
No.
Oh, okay. What's your you want to
So Mike Tomlin, who stepped away from the team earlier in the week, from the Steelers, it's a peculiar situation because the Steelers still have the rights to Mike Tomlin. What that means is if you want to go get Mike Tomlin, you got to go trade for him. That's what the Broncos did with Sean Payton when he was still on the New Orleans Saints, technically, or you can wait till the contract expires, whatever it might be. Everybody seems to be under the impression – 2 years?
Yeah.
Everybody seems to be under the impression that Mike Tomlin's going to TV. And if media people are saying that, there's got to be something to it because they would know. So maybe he does a year and he steps away from it. Maybe he doesn't like any of the teams that are available. Maybe he has something in mind. The one I'm going to predict is Mike Tomlin takes a year off. He works for TV. You'll see him at halftimes with the CBS broadcast, whatever it is. And next year, Andy Reid will retire, and the Chiefs will trade for Mike Tomlin to be Patrick Mahomes' second half of his career head coach.
Wow.
Mike Tomlin gets his fancy quarterback.
Wow.
He has to put together a defense year in and year out. He has to manage the game properly, and he has to let Mahomes do what Mahomes does. That would be my prediction. You're telling me the Chiefs wouldn't like that?
I'm a Chiefs fan.
You wouldn't like that?
I would love it. Here's the one caveat I would give there is number one, I don't think Andy Reid is retiring this quickly.
You don't think next year maybe?
No, I don't think Andy Reid is
74 years old.
He loves this. He loves this. He's not 74. He's a little younger than that. Is he 74?
I'll double check that right now. I want to
Andy
say
Reid's
74.
Age. It's not 74 is that's Pete Carroll range. Pete Carroll range. It's Reid is like late 60s, late 60s.
Oh, he's not.
Yes, he is. He's not hit 70 yet. I have not seen the Andy Reid 70th birthday graphic.
He's going to turn 68 March 17th.
Thank you. You're like, he's trying to get rid of my guy already.
He's old.
So he's old. He's old. But I will say, I do think I would love Mike Tomlin as an heir apparent to Andy Reid. I just don't think Reid is retiring over the next 2 or 3 years. I think Reid.
That's the perfect situation, though.
It would be amazing.
The perfect situation.
I don't think Reid's ready to hang it up. And also,
Reid's not going to be there for Mahomes' whole career. We all know this.
He's going to be there for the bulk of Mahomes' career. I think he's going to have the next 3 or 4 years at least.
Same.
But Mike Tomlin, I would love as a head coach. I will say the Chiefs' defense, when it comes to schemes and play call, we don't need a new face or voice over that. Steve Spagnuolo is still the best defensive coordinator in the NFL to me. He's still the best big game coordinator in the NFL. He's going to be the first.
Again, you don't need Tomlin to call the defense. You need Tomlin to go run the team.
Just to be the CEO. You're right. But Spags is going to be the first person to make it to the Hall of Fame as an assistant coach and not a head coach. That's how great he is on that side. I think the heir apparent to Andy Reid needs to be an offensive guru as well. And the only reason why I say that is because I don't like coaches who are beholden to their coordinators. Look at Nick Sirianni. Why do you think they're on again and off again? You have a great offense one year because you're OC. He leaves for a head coaching job, and now you're stuck with what's you got? Kevin Patullo, and it sucks.
Yep.
I like teams that have a fortified offensive system, and that's what helped the Chiefs over the past 8-9 years. Is because Andy Reid keeps his overall offensive communication and system the same, and he brings in new OCs as they come and go. I don't like having to continually turn it over. It's never worked.
Yeah.
Name a team I can't think of a team where it's worked where your head coach keeps turning over the OC and changing the offense every 3 or 4 years because they're getting new jobs. It's a good thing, and you're still able to have success year over year. I just haven't seen it yet.
Belichick.
He's kind of kept the same guys, though.
Yeah, but he had guys get plucked. They ended up coming back because they all stunk without him.
I think that was the issue. Belichick did get you're right.
McDaniel left twice.
He came back. Brian
Matt Patricia left. Like, he's had enough, and that's just in recent history.
What's my guy at Boston College? Brian.
Bill O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien.
Yes.
Bill O'Brien.
So, he's had guys come in and out, but I understand what you're saying. I do.
But
because you can see that the coordinators have been ultra-reliant in the NFL.
Look at the Lions this year. This is what has been happening. You have when you're relying on your offensive coordinator, and he is so good that he gets a head coaching job.
Who's been good about that is Shanahan. Shanahan's been good about that.
Because he's the offensive guy, though.
Yeah.
He's helping get these guys jobs, but Mike McDaniel was the run game coordinator, right? Who was the latest guy to come out of the Shanahan tree?
The Shanahan. Well, Mike LaFleur is their offensive coordinator, and might be hired this offseason as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. All right, last pick here. We know what you think is going to happen in the divisional weekend. National championship on Monday night. Indiana, Miami. What's your score prediction?
I'm reserving my score for tomorrow. Can I keep my score reserved for tomorrow and just give you my pick?
Sure.
I'm slow rolling this thing. All
right, your score prediction's tomorrow.
I'm shout out to the Canes. It's all about the U. Monday. I'm saying tomorrow. I keep thinking tomorrow is the game. It's Monday. Monday, I'll be giving the official score prediction ahead of the actual national championship game. But my prediction is that Miami wins its 6th national championship, and they do it in the same way that they won their first one. That's at their home stadium. That's against a team from the Midwest. Last time it was Nebraska. This time it's going to be Indiana. They do it against a team that has the Heisman Trophy winner. Last time it was Mike Rozier. This time it's Fernando Mendoza. And they also do it as a team that is a 2-score dog. Last time Nebraska was favored by 12 points, 12, 13 points in Vegas, and Miami wins in the Orange Bowl in 1984 to win the national title. This time in 2026, they'll win it at Hard Rock Stadium over Indiana, and Mario Cristobal will become the 5th Canes head coach with a national title, making it 6 championships in Coral Gables.
I'll make his nice, short, and sweet. 34-20, Indiana. 34-20, Indiana.
Hell out of here. They're not dropping 34 on the Canes.
You watch.
It's not happening.
You watch.
It's not happening.
Here's the way I look at it. I
It's
said it
not
earlier
happening.
before you got here. There were wolves and there were sheep in every round. And the next round, the wolves from the previous round become sheep.
This is so
And
stupid.
that all-
This is so stupid.
No, it's
I've
not.
heard you. I've heard this on Russo and Rizzo.
That's
Colin.
fine. There's theme
Go
to
again.
it.
Give it to
There's
him.
theme to it.
Give it
There's
to
theme
him.
to it. Because teams all of a sudden they have a big win. Oh my gosh, it seems really good. And then they get blown out the next round. TCU beats Michigan. Oh my God. Then they go and they get slaughtered by Georgia. There were wolves and there were sheep. Indiana's a wolf. Miami's a sheep.
Didn't you just say the wolf from the last round turns into a sheep the next round?
Yeah, one of them. It's got to be somebody. It's got to be somebody.
Miami was certainly not a wolf against Ole Miss. They tried everything in their possible that was possible
True.
for them to lose
Two
that
sheep.
game.
Two sheep.
It was a sheep. There were 2 sheep playing each other in the
Two
Fiesta
sheep
Bowl.
playing each other in the Fiesta Bowl.
I love the theory. I really do believe in what Miami has built. I think Miami has the better trenches on both sides, and I think that's where you win football games. And we saw that against Ohio State. We saw it against Texas A&M. It worked against Ole Miss, but Miami just didn't make the plays, right? You didn't catch the interceptions. You couldn't tackle Trinidad Chambliss. I think those two
Settle for
things are going
three
to
a
change.
number of times.
Yeah, and if those 2 things change, if you sack the quarterback 1 or 2 more times because he's less mobile, if you catch a ball that hits you in your fingertips softly, like defensive backs for Miami had chances to do, not just, I think 4 times. 4 separate plays were interception-worthy plays that the Canes dropped. That's a totally different-looking game, and that's the kind of game that you saw against Ohio State when you win by double digits on a neutral field. That is what I expect from the Miami Hurricanes. They're not going to miss those plays in the biggest moment here in the big game. Speaking of big plays and big games.
Yeah, that was an excellent throw by Josh Allen to Dalton Kincaid as they take the lead officially at Mile High as they take a 24-23 lead. Bills scored. Going to be a good fourth quarter, about 12 minutes to go in that one as we close things out. Hope everybody had a good time aboard. Appreciate everybody staying aboard. That's been Theo Dorsey, Colin Russo at our playoff party at City Place, West Palm Beach. Go enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the football of the weekend. Enjoy the national championship if you're going to the game. You got more local programming, including tomorrow, Sunday Huddle, 10 a.m. You get, theoretically speaking, a special edition, 12 o'clock on Monday.
12 o'clock
to 2:30 with Theo Dorsey and Christian Catt, and then myself and Mike Rizzo, 2:30 till 6. Stay tuned for that. This has been the playoff party on ESPN West Palm.
It's all about the U.